Peace and blessings, kings and queens. I am Jaquan Davis.
And I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And welcome to the Young Old Heads podcast, the podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. Hip-hop based podcast. I should have thrown that in there. If you don't like hip-hop, get out of here.
No. You stay.
Jokes.
You talk about something you kind of like.
We have great personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my dear friend Nick actually came up with the name Young Old Heads. He actually has a song called Young Old Head. Check that out. He came up with the concept and he broke it down to me, and I was instantly in. It makes sense. But Nick, why don't you tell the people what exactly Young Old Head means?
Okay, so where I came up with the name, and like Jay had said, I have a song already with that same premise, is Jay and I, and a lot of people like that we hang out with and whatnot,
yes,
we come from, we're kind of the product of two different eras. So when I became a fan of hip hop, it was like the tail end of like the golden era, you know, like back when you had like, for instance, MCing, like you got laughed off stage if you weren't killing it, like
Absolutely.
Lyrically and stuff. And then we had the transition to where like that stopped being such a centric like focus,
and it became
was
like
more
about
like,
beats,
and
rhythm,
beats, and like the southern rap and again, not knocking any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then even from there, it transcended even further into like the newer, like the pop rap and like the like just the generation we're kind of taking place in now. And we're still pretty young, bro. I'm in my really early 30s. And
I'm 31. I'll say my actual age.
30.
Nick is 32.
I'm 32. Jay's 31. And so, with us being like a product of both eras, I thought it was the perfect kind of like way to embody what we our experience in like the culture is. We're young, but we're also considered old heads because we love that old golden era hip hop, but we're also still young men who like are still transitioning and like adapting through all this. So that is why we are called the Young Old Heads.
And it's so dope. I appreciate you and your creativity.
Thank you.
Very dope concept. You know what's not a dope concept? This list I actually ran across recently of unpopular hip hop opinions.
So you sent me this list, and it like made my skin crawl. So
yeah,
you go read the list first.
Okay, so give me just a sec here. Let me pull it up. Okay, so number one.
Okay.
Nas. Nas has one good album.
Already.
Okay, should
we just break it down one by one? Yeah.
Should I go through the list? Or
yeah.
You want to break it down?
Let's address that one right now.
Okay. So first of all, Bogus.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Illmatic, fire album, a classic album. It was written. Excellent album. One of what's probably my favorite of Nas's albums is Stillmatic. That was essentially, I don't want to say his reemergence, but he kind of had, I don't even want to say a decline, because his album before that was platinum, but people kind of started hating on him a little bit because he was kind of making records that had more of a pop appeal.
Yeah.
But that's Stillmatic had Ether on it. You remember Ether?
Oh, bro,
a top 10 diss track.
Yeah, if you're in like invested in hip hop beyond like the casual listener, if you don't know what Ether is, like, that's bad, shocking to me.
Yeah, and then not to mention he's got a few other solid projects. He's got one called Life Is Good that I liked a lot. But just last year, 2020, he put out an album called King's Disease that I was actually listening to today, and it's critically acclaimed. It's an amazing album.
And again, so that's kind of where I was going to address. So being fully transparent, as like a listener, Nas hasn't been like is frequent in my playlists, but
you respect him.
The dude is goated, bro.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's goated. Even like in other rappers' songs, like they like 50 on his original Get Rich or Die Trying album. He's like, who's the greatest MC? It's like 50 Jigga Nas or whatever. You don't have one good album and then become a punchline for other rappers to show a bar of like, I'm so good. I'm like Nas.
About that line too, that was actually a flip from a line Jay-Z said.
Okay,
where he said, "Who's the best MC? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, multiple people have said that Nas is like he's very acknowledged as one of the elite MCs.
Yeah. So right there, boom. Take that off the list. Nas has more than one great album.
He has several, but I mean that's probably one opinion I can on because calling the album great is subjective.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
because
100%.
I could say somebody's album is a classic, and you could say it's the worst thing you've ever heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so number 2, Andre 3000 can't be a top 10 rapper without a solo album.
Again,
I just about threw my headphones off.
bro. Yeah. No, okay. So here's my again. I'm gonna just use the same logic that I used with the Nas conversation. But when you have the greats, I'm talking about like established, elite, like just these profoundly impactful hip hop artists, and they put him in the top 10 lists of lyricists, then that's where I could end the discussion. Let alone, bro, right now, if you don't think he's a great rapper, go ahead and type on YouTube, like top Andre 3000 verses, and like just go ahead and sit with that, and like
Right.
yeah, like that's all I can say on that subject.
It's kind of a weird thing for me because it's like he's got enough verses out there where he killed it to make several albums.
Yeah.
I mean, he was part of a duo. He never
Exactly. And all that, but also the duo he was part of, like one of the greatest like hip hop duos.
Absolutely. That's another thing too. I feel like Big Boy gets overlooked because he's dope. He's dope as well.
Okay, that's a testament. Andre is such a spitter. He made another great spitter not shine as bright, like in comparison. But also Andre hits a lot of criteria, man. Like he's got like the charisma. He's got like a unique flow. Like just, I mean, so much behind like that star power, man. Like
yeah, he's great, man. He's a legendary MC. I don't, like you said, the criteria, and his verses are always impressive. He's no slouch. Like I've never heard a verse and been like, oh, that was whack.
Yeah.
It's usually one thing about him is it's not always so much his wordplay. It's just something he says that you weren't expecting.
yeah.
Like, there was a verse I was thinking of where he says something. How does it go? And he says, I'm in a swell mood, a rather swole mood, until she told me that she told dude that she'll be back, she's going to the store. I didn't know she had a boyfriend, so the door I pointed her to, I said, call me when y'all break up. I don't fuck nobody, bitch, and never owned a Jacob. Know what time it is.
Bro,
like
that alone, bro. That alone, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
like
Come
I just,
on.
so he's a GOAT. Absolutely. He is
so,
among the greats.
Again, debunked. We've debunked another one.
Okay, so number 3 is Kendrick Lamar always gets washed by notable rappers.
Okay, right now, bro. So that's one of the most infuriating to me. So a lot of people, I'm gonna just tell this briefly because I can ramble. You're gonna notice that a lot if you're a fan of our podcast. But when I first heard Kendrick, ambiently in the background, I was in a weird phase of my hip hop growth and like taste. Was not a fan. Mind you, didn't take the time to really check out a project. But my buddy Colin, shout out Colin, I shouted him on the last podcast. But my buddy Colin, when I was moving to Colorado, he burnt me Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
And I listened to it on the way to Colorado, even as a last resort. Like I was like, man, like I don't have any more CDs to listen to. It's a long drive. Put it in. It didn't leave my tape deck for weeks.
Yes.
Just a profound artist. And I will say this right now.
Absolutely. A once-in-a-lifetime artist. Go ahead.
So here's what it's going to squash that to me. Go listen to Control, the whole song, not just Kendrick's verse, the entire song. Kendrick, literally, this is fact. Yo, go ahead, look up all the videos related to it. He shook up hip hop with a verse.
He did.
He had some of the
absolutely did.
greatest rappers of all time reaching in their bag, trying to respond, and not even in a disrespectful manner.
No, it's like I love y'all, but I'm trying to be the best.
If you're gonna diss somebody, that is the most like tactful way, being like, yo, I love you guys, but I'm trying to make sure nobody ever heard of you guys. Like, and like the part where he's like, what is competition? I'm trying to set the bar, or however he says it, but he goes, what is competition? I'm trying to set the bar high. Who trying to jump and get it? You're better off trying to high five out the window of 5G. But bro,
he goes off, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Also, I think a testament to how fire that verse was. Big Sean is considered a notable rapper, I
yeah,
would say.
again. So is Jay,
Jay
bro.
Electronica is dope.
And both their verses are dope.
That's
on
what I
it,
was gonna say. Jay Electronica's was heat on that, but it was
I
overshadowed.
Earth, Wind, Fire, the verses, then Rain on the Hook or something. He says.
He's
like,
dope, man.
Yeah.
His album though, I wasn't. It was decent, but I wasn't crazy about the production.
I will say, not to get off topic, off topic, but like Jay Electronic had one time said something about M, like putting M in his place, and people like sit down. Exactly. You're dope, but like sit down.
No, but more on the Kendrick thing. So you would say J. Cole's a notable rapper, right?
Bro, he's in my top.
Okay. So are you familiar with Big Crit?
Yes.
He's dope. I love that dude.
Okay.
So there's a track with the three of them called "They Ready" from I want to say it was a DJ Khaled album years back, but Kendrick Lamar's verse is the final one, and he goes off. I'll show you when we're done recording, and you tell me who has the best verse.
Last example, the Games album.
The Red album?
Yeah, the Red album where it's Angels in the City, I think is the track. Kendrick, his feature is a hook. That's it, hook.
Well, no, he does have a verse at the...
Oh, yeah, he does at the very end, but I guess, I feel, I mean, technically...
When the beat kind of...
Yeah, because the beat cuts out, and he just starts spazzing, so... But the hook alone... recognize my life, ridicule my fight, give me fuel for the fire. Yeah, but that hook shined.
I like hooks like that where it's not just like two words over and over.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Yeah. So again, debunked. Kendrick is I'd be hard pressed. Send me a song if you're listening to this podcast. Find me on social media, Nick Fletcher, Sycamore Treasy. Send me a song that Kendrick gets washed on, please.
Yes,
I would love to hear it.
That. Okay, so that's number 3. So number 4.
Okay.
Number 4.
Let's hear it. The anticipation.
Trap doesn't have any classics. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, let me just give you a few examples of what rappers are kind of fall in the trap category. That's Jeezy, that's Gucci Mane, that's T.I. I think you would probably put Future in there too. Yeah. Those are the few that come to mind. I'm sure there's many more that I'm not aware of because I just know the guys I came up on. Yeah. But I will tell you, Young Jeezy just put out...
That's what I was about to say, bro. Jeezy's the end of the argument.
I was going to say, he just put out a fire album last year. Oh, 2 Chainz is another one. He falls in that category too. And I feel like he's an underrated lyricist. I think people tend to not give him credit for his lyrics because he always has really simple delivery, but his metaphors are...
I bought a bitch a ring. It's for a panky.
Or he said something like, I am so high like an addict, like pointing to the addict. I am so high like an addict, then pointing like a needle in his arm. Yeah. So it's like,
just the double entendre.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff like that. Like then T.I. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
2 Chainz, I think, was like a Harvard grad or something.
I don't know if it was Harvard, but he definitely is a college grad. I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought it was something. I think it's pretty reputable.
It might have been an Ivy League school.
Yeah, something.
But I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't remember where exactly. But there's truth to that.
We also need to have a segment of the podcast where people fact check us, and we come back and all right, so last podcast.
Well, if anybody actually watches this at some point, people are going to get in the comments. Oh, that actually happened in 1997. But
to clarify,
according to my calculations, you are. But no, and T.I. too. I feel like T.I. does not get the credit he deserves, bro. Like he has some classic albums under his belt, in my opinion. He's got a lot of hits too.
Oh yeah, T.I.
I really like the T.I. versus T.I.P. album, and then Urban Legend, great album. I still have in rotation to this day. I mean, he even had a song a few years back that I really love because I'm a big fan of Aaliyah, and he sampled her vocals from the song "Rock the Boat," and just the way he did it is really that's fire. But
so for me,
a legend.
Trap, not what I listen to. So even for me, this is a lot of this list. So much is subjective. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah, so it's opinions.
So I think it'd be easy enough if you didn't listen to trap music to be like, man, there's no good trap albums. Like, well, yeah, bro, that's like me being like, man, there's not one good country album. Right. I don't really listen to country, so it's subjective, but trap right to this date, right now, is still, when it comes to the hip hop subgenres,
Yes.
trap is one of the most frequent. Like, I mean, it's still being made at like a mainstream level. It wouldn't have got there if it didn't have appeal. Like, it wouldn't have. And again, you brought up some notable. Jeezy alone is a legend.
Yes.
T.I. is a legend. You know, like, and again, it's funny you brought him up, but 2 Chainz is a rapper that never gave the time of day until I started paying attention, and now. Royce put it in a good way for Royce the 5'9". I was watching
big fan of his too.
Yeah, it was like break down the lyric thing, you know, or rate the bars. You seen that? Rate the bars, and he read this really simple bar, and he was like, "Man, I'm trying." Basically, he was like, "I'm having a hard time rating this." He goes, "Because 2 Chainz could say this, and it sounds slick as shit."
Yeah,
and because that's the kind of rapper 2 Chainz is.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will address stuff like this, but hip hop is so much about lyrics, but bro, it's about like delivery and character and charisma. Like, you could have some fire stuff to say, but if you don't say it the right way,
there's not passion behind that, or you don't deliver it the way it sounds good. Like,
and again, still, like I said the line earlier, but the line where he's like, "I bought the bitch a ring. It was for a panky." The way he says it,
I like a line he says from that same verse where he said, "Gentlemen attire in threads that won't expire. I'm in a class of my own. My teacher got fired." Like, he's you know, I don't think he gets enough credit.
Debunked.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this list is probably somebody made it on Twitter that had like 7 likes on it, and we're like, "Let's rip this thing apart."
Yeah, I bet.
Let's destroy it.
I actually don't even have Twitter. I saw this via Instagram, but it was shared from Twitter. Okay. So the 5th and final.
Hit me.
Ridiculous, unpopular opinion.
Yeah, this one. I remember this one pisses me off the most.
This one really upsets me.
Is pure ignorance.
The South ruined hip hop.
Yeah. So,
people, you can't see me, but I just threw my arms up in disbelief.
There he did. He did it 2 times.
Twice. 2 times.
2 arm throws. Okay. So, God, man, like,
this is so absurd.
Yeah, that one's
feel like, okay. So let me just say that the South has had a somewhat of a presence on a mainstream level since probably the mid '90s. You know, or you could even say the early '90s, like 2 Live Crew and then like Outkast, and I don't think like you had groups like UGK and 3 6 Mafia, but I don't think they really kind of came out mainstream until the later '90s. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I know I didn't hear of like 3 6 Mafia till like '98 or something. Yeah. And
actually, it was '97.
It was approximately January of '97. That voice, I don't even know whose voice that is.
I think he should be a recurring guest on the podcast.
A character to make an appearance. But no, the South, I feel like, has helped hip hop grow, man. Like,
I have a big opinion on the South, bro.
It's adding so many different layers to hip hop, which is a beautiful thing, I think. Like, there's something, if you're into hip hop, there's something for just about everybody, you know, and you can, you know, the way streaming and stuff is now, you can cater stuff to your specific taste. Yeah. But let's think about the subgenres that have come from the South. You've got trap. You've got snap music, which that kind of fizzles out pretty quick. You got crunk, you know? So it's like, how could you possibly say that? Not to mention, they've given us some of the greatest lyricists ever. Yeah. I mean, I'm not so much of a fan of his anymore, but yes, Wayne, absolutely. When he was back in, what was it, 05 or something? When he was calling himself the best rapper alive, I was like, yup.
Yeah, bro,
absolutely.
I can't rebuttal that.
Yeah, like you, yes.
Bro, all 3 Carters, or not all 3, the first 3 Carters, Carter 1, 2, and 3, not a single skippable track. No. Classics. And that, I mean, for any elite rapper to have 3 classic albums, and there's more. That's beyond that. Like, the dude does way more than that. But
yeah, those are all like home runs.
And here's my opinion on the South. So, big opinion here. I think the South massively geared hip hop as we know it today. Yeah. And here's why. So, back in the day, the era that I personally fell in love with hip hop was when backpack rap, like the spitters, bro. Like, you just went in there lyrically, like, just so tight, and like the bars, and then like aggressive and just slaughtering beats. Yeah. When the South started coming out, they kind of put their foot in the door and was like, "Hey, man, like, it doesn't have to only be that.
Exactly.
They started dropping the stuff that you could like lean with it, rock with it, you know, just and then even like Lil Jon. Like, I mean, when you have a type of music where a guy can get worldwide like famous by just shouting, like being a hype man, like that was the South to me. Is like it was them, like basically like almost like the entire industry was like, yo, there's not a place for you, and they were like, there's absolutely a place for me.
Yes, absolutely there is.
Which now I think again has evolved where like. The South was and mind you, I think rappers in the past before the South really took off, I think people tried to make like music that you could like dance with and go to the club and it didn't have to be so lyrical. But a lot of it was corny, bro. Realistically, I think they did it without being corny. And the best way I see it is when you think of like, I'll think of like Louisiana or New Orleans when I think about this, the cooking wise. Like think about like a New Orleans like recipe. I think that's what they did to hip hop. They seasoned it. Like they just did something different. Great analogy. Like they seasoned it a different way. So like when you heard it, it was just like there's just something about it. And again, like Wayne back in the day, example, no slouch, bro. And there's some of the dopest.
Let me just throw this in there real quick. I have recently heard a verse from him on Benny the Butcher's project. He went off, man. Like that, he was in rare form, but I just don't. He sounds different to me.
I'll say not a big a fan of him now.
But he that verse was impressive, I will say.
Hey, bro. On that note, think about this, okay? So, did you see Donald Trump pardon Wayne?
I did,
bro. So, what if Wayne literally tactically did that? Because if you guys remember, I don't know if anybody else remembers, Wayne released a picture with Donald Trump. Yes. And hip hop turned on him. Yeah. Hip hop was like, yo, how could you? Like, what are you doing? You know? What if, I'm not saying, because maybe Wayne, you know, whatever like headspace he's in, you know, like how that worked. But what if the whole thing was just like a long con just to get like, because he had to know he had these charges coming up.
Well, I thought the charges occurred after that picture, though.
Was it?
I think so, man. I could be wrong. We'll have to research and make sure, but I think so. But I don't think that's absurd.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, like the scenario would be funny, but I just literally when I saw that, because it was like the #1 trending on my Twitter, it was Lil Wayne, and I clicked his name, and it was like Donald Trump pardons Lil Wayne, and I'm like, damn, like that's pretty crazy. So, all right, so on to the next topic on the agenda. Regrettable trends in hip hop, and if you took place in them.
Okay, so there's probably a few. It's funny how you look back and you had something on, like you felt so fly.
Oh my God, like, bro!
Boy, if you know, Oh
God, bro.
So I think one of the first one that comes to mind. There's a few, but the first one that comes to mind is the oversized clothes. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's gosh! Like, I just see old pictures of myself with some big ass pants on.
Okay, so mine is, bro, in that vein.
What? And you know what really bugs me looking back? Some of my cousins would make fun of me if I had something on that wasn't baggy.
Like tight. Yeah, they'd
look at you, you're tight ass.
Hey, like, look at you wearing a shirt that fits you.
A form-fitting shirt, and you get clowned for wearing your actual size. It was a weird time.
So my biggest one in the same lane as that was baggy pants, and not only that, but sagging of my pants.
Yeah.
So so guys, if you don't know what I look like, I'm a 6'5" slender man. Okay. I was like 6'3" in high school.
Yeah, tall as
I
shit.
was wearing, so I wear right now, this is how slender I am. I wear a 32 waist right now. 32
really?
waist.
I wear a bigger waist than that, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm super skinny, like thin, you know.
Slender. You trying to say I'm fat, bro? What you trying to say?
Anyway.
What you trying to say?
Anyway, so 32 waist, okay? When, bro, that's no exaggeration. I was wearing like 38 waist, like 30 in like back in the day, and wearing my belt, so I'd cinch up my belt so they would just stay on, and then legit ass cheeks out. Like jeans were not covering my ass cheeks. Not an exaggeration. But then, like you said, big ass t-shirts, so it's like covering up and stuff. Yeah, and back in that era, I thought I looked so fly.
Same.
I thought I looked so good.
Bro, there was a point in time where I didn't feel right with my pants on my actual waist,
Oh,
and
bro.
I never want to return to that
Oh, bro, same.
dark
Same.
period
Well,
of my
and
life.
again, okay, guys, back to that. This is where the young old head comes back into play
Yes.
because that's not just a trend that affected us. That was the bar in hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
like that's what you looked like back in the day if you were a
Absolutely.
rapper, hip hop. And it's funny now because now you and I both, I think this is something we have in common. Super fashionable now, bro. We dress nice. Wait till we start filming these podcasts.
Okay, I mean, I put a little something together. Yeah, if y'all see me out and about, you know I be fly.
Hey,
a
bro,
little
all
bit,
I'm saying is the cover of Vogue is calling our names.
GQ. GQ.
No, Vogue, bro. I'm going for Vogue. Is that,
I mean,
is that women based?
I don't know actually. I just know GQ is the
Okay, yeah,
dapper,
GQ. Yeah, okay, GQ.
Very
No,
dapper
that's
and
actually
debonair.
that is actually a better representation.
But
Yes.
I was about to say something and I interrupted you and instantly forgot. I am sorry.
So you interrupted me for no
I
reason at
interrupted
all.
you for absolutely no
Wow.
reason. I'm tired, man. I worked today. I hit the gym. I've been going through some things.
All right, so I'm officially I'm hiring for a co-host on a podcast. If
Rude.
anybody's interested.
Rude as hell. That's
So-
very nice, man.
Well, here,
no,
one-
but
one-
I think as far as the hip hop trends, well, first of all, nowadays, most of the time, unless I'm like dressing up for an occasion, most of the time I'm in sweats, bro. I just like to be comfortable nowadays.
Yeah.
But like anymore, I don't keep up with the trends. I might see something that people are doing nowadays and like it and put my own spin on it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're not gonna see me. Like a lot of people are wearing these big, ugly ass shoes nowadays because
Yeah.
they're Balenciaga and
Yeah,
stuff, and I'm
yeah.
like, nah, those are
Well,
hideous.
so that is a hip hop trend thing that I never took part in. But there was that era, like the bathing apes, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
I was all in on that.
Yeah, like these really like flamboyant, and that's the thing. I don't want to knock these trends specifically because if people still dress like that, more power to you.
Yeah.
But it was just like really like flamboyant clothing, really bright shoes that were
Yep.
like just like that, and that was a trend that personally I never got on. I was more of like again, like mine was like the big old t-shirts, super baggy pants, like the backwards or sideways hat, all the time. So
yeah.
that
I regret doing that too.
like 19 necklaces on like at once.
Yeah, I regret doing the back. Like if I wear a hat now, it's usually straightforward. Every now and again, it might be straight back. But
See,
I don't
well, and
do
I'll
none of the
throw a
rest.
backwards hat on, like in the context of like just if I'm just like say I wear a hat to like the gym and I'm working out and I throw my hat on backwards. But like I was wearing like I had like these like okay, and mind you, when I was like coming up as a Wyoming kid in rap, I really idolized New York culture just because it was like the birthplace of hip hop.
Hey, I'm from there.
Hey, that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
But I would buy these like the New York Yankee like hats from like Lids and stuff when I go
Yeah.
to Salt Lake and stuff, and I'd wear them like not just backwards but like sideways and halfway on my head, mind
Yeah.
you. Like it would like cock you. I don't know if you remember when I used to do that shit, bro. But like
Vaguely.
halfway on, sideways.
I remember you wearing trucker caps like that.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. And the trucker caps was the thing, but I don't really think that's hip hop. But here's one for me. One more. That you were there to witness this, and this is not a trend that I'm saying is a negative one, but I was not doing it properly. But that was the do-rag. Yeah. So when I was young, yeah, it was bad. So I don't know if anybody knows what a do-rag is. Like, feel free to Google it.
I better know what a do-rag is. No, I can't say that because I actually had a coworker years ago ask me, what is a do-rag
Well,
for?
but I feel like if somebody doesn't know it by name, they could Google it and be like,
Yeah.
oh, like I've seen those. But
Yeah, but it was weird because he was like only a couple years younger than me. But then there's the old guy who knew what a do-rag
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
it's
so, but no,
different
it was
strokes,
just,
different folks.
so just to kind of fill in there, same with baggy clothes, me wearing the do-rag, so much of it like boiled down for me is like a desperate cry to fit in as like a white boy in hip hop that I was like, man, like I'm cool, like I'm hip hop, like look at me, like, and
I got a do-rag too.
and what's nice about like hip hop now is I will say it's transcended beyond like those kind of like themes and styles just because, okay, like take us back to like, let's say 98. Okay. Say there's a cypher, bunch of rappers walk out.
Yeah.
And right now, just imagine it. You can imagine what they're going to look like, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to be wearing like their baggy clothes, hoodies, whatever and
Yeah,
stuff.
probably.
And imagine the last guy on the line was wearing like some skinny jeans and boots and had like a fucking like leather jacket on. You would be like, yeah, like who, like what, like
He would get roasted to oblivion.
Exactly. But now that's totally just like not even like
now. If you see somebody with some big ass pants on and a big ass shirt, it's gonna be like, bro, what are you on? Like,
what are you doing?
You all right, sir? Like,
they come in your size. You realize that?
Like, yeah, you don't have to.
You don't have to do that. But yeah, so yeah, that was for me. I'd say the baggy pants and the do-rag was my regrettable hip hop trend that I took place in.
Yeah, I think the big pants, and then I don't know. In the late '90s, there was this trend of like neon colors, and
that's what I meant by the flamboyant thing I said earlier. Not that it's negative, but it was just
goggles and stuff.
Well, it was like the point, like for rappers outside of like, and I think this is when like the music industry really started like taking like effect. But you had to be more than a good rapper; you had to be a character.
Yeah.
So that's when it was like you had rappers walking out on stage wearing this like wild like outfit just to
like Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes used to be over the top with the fashion, bro. He's a legend. I don't think he gets the credit.
Oh, bro, absolute legend.
He was very much over the top. You know what's crazy, man, is like me being so ingrained in the culture of hip hop, like, and just being raised on it, and constantly growing up watching music videos and stuff. Like if I watch a music video, I can usually tell you roughly what time frame.
Oh, bro, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just from the trends and maybe the style and the angles and stuff.
Because I can even tell you like just even based off like the sound of an instrumental kick, and like you can tell that. Bro, so much so, and I feel like if you're a hip hop fan, this comes with the territory. But I can also tell you like what like I don't know the proper term for this, but like West Coast, East Coast, like South, like I can hear a beat and I'll be like, yo, this is like an East Coast beat, this is a New York sound. Like this beat sounds like straight out of New York.
The West Coast, and especially like the early 90s with Dr. Dre and all them guys, they had a really specific sound, a unique sound. And it's crazy because I recently came across a group that came out, I think it was 94. They were from Texas, and you could tell, you could see the influence, and you could hear it. They were rapping like you wouldn't know they were from Texas. They were rapping like West Coast dudes. But they were dope still. But. So
next on our list is this is going to be like a reoccurring thing in the podcast.
Yeah, because there's some weird ass things out there that aren't common knowledge.
Yeah, so this is just a weird and random fact. This is just if you want to know something strange, something you can bring up at like coffee break at work. So, do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't have one today, so it'll just be your thing.
You didn't find one?
I did nothing.
Do the one you read earlier, the twin thing.
I don't want to.
Okay, well, fine. Okay, I'll tell you mine. You can decide if you want to tell one. So here's mine. Okay. So this is crazy to me. So I don't know if anybody else out there is like fascinated by like outer space and whatnot. And are you listening, Jay?
Yes, I am listening.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody out there is fascinated by like outer space and all that stuff, but sometimes I'll watch those top 10 videos. Now I love those. You could make like every day mine could be a space fact. Like his outer space is weird, bro. Like it's just weird. But here's the one that got me the most. Okay, so do you know, sir, what a neutron star is?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so a neutron star, and again, I hope nobody jumps in the DMs and like is like super scientifically critical. Like no, but basically, this is what I know about a neutron star. It's when a star doesn't explode, it implodes. So exploding is outward explosion. That's what happens in the movies. Imploding is when its mass caves in on itself. When a star becomes a neutron star, it's when its mass becomes too much for itself. It caves in on itself. Now, when this happens, this is the wild thing about it, okay? The matter of a neutron star, okay, the density of a neutron star is so heavy that on Earth, and I mean, I could be getting these I could be getting like the measurements and like the units and the comparisons a little off here, but if you took the size of a sewing needle, okay?
Okay.
So whatever a neutron star is made out of, the mass of that, put that into a sewing needle, bring it on Earth, it will weigh more than the Giza pyramids.
What?
Yes, it's so dense and so heavy that the matter of it like a thimble would weigh as much as the Empire State Building.
Good Lord.
That's crazy,
man.
bro.
That is
Think
wild.
about like I don't know the science of it, but like what if like a golf ball sized neutron star hit Earth? Like would that just go right through it? Like just split us in half? Just like
Bro, that is wow.
yeah. So that is my random fact of the day.
That is your random fact. Moving right along.
You don't have a random fact today?
You know what? No, I haven't come across anything that I really like enough to. You know, there's a few like, oh, that's wild, but there's nothing I can really delve into like you just dove into that.
Okay.
Next episode, I will present one.
I thought the twin thing you said was pretty interesting.
The twin thing. Don't nobody care about that.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? Fine. Everybody cliffhanger. We're not going to tell you about the twin
I'm going
thing.
to tell you about the twin thing. Don't message me. What's the twin thing?
If you guys want to hear about the twin thing, drop a like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Yeah, and tell me I'm handsome. Anyway.
So
don't tell me I'm handsome, please.
don't gas them up.
What else do we have on the docket, my good friend?
Guilty hip hop or not? Okay, guilty pleasures in music. What is your guilty music pleasure? Now, again, so just to set the bar here for everybody, this is primarily a hip hop centric podcast.
Yes.
So like we are avid hip hop listeners. Like
absolutely.
Like it's like I eat, sleep, breathe hip hop.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not all I listen to. So
I love hip hop. Absolutely love it. But it's not when it comes to music for me, it's whatever I find sonically pleasing, right? Mm-hmm. So there's music or songs and stuff from different genres that I like that. And I'm like, yeah, let me get that on my playlist. So one thing I'll say that I don't know if it's really a guilty, but you know what? We're going to speak our truths on here. I'm tired of living in denial.
Okay, say it.
So
you love country music. Say it. Just say it.
I actually do like some country songs. I absolutely do.
If I have any country fans, which I'm like listeners here, which we're gonna have, like I don't hate country guys. Let me just say it right now. I'm gonna use it as a joke a lot, but it's only because it's like to me it's like the parallel of hip hop. It's like hip hop is like in country or like just polar opposites.
Yeah, they are. Even though they there's some crossover there.
Yeah.
But okay, so 13-year-old me would have never admitted this.
Backstreet Boys.
But no,
Okay.
I like a few of their songs though.
Okay.
So I guess
Okay.
maybe.
All right. Let it fly.
So there was in the early 2000s there was this R&B pop boy band called B2K.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I, to this day, listen to a few of their songs. I really like their music, man. They're dope.
Bro, hey, music's music, bro. I am not critical anymore on people.
You know, at the time, they were like heartthrobs and girls loved them. But I feel bad, though, because my cousin, Tyrone, shout out to you, cuz, love you, man. He was the same age as me. He was a fan of them and would openly listen to them and stuff, and everybody made fun of him for it. My family.
You were like, you was like a closet fan. You were like making fun of him.
I never made fun of him too, but I just didn't say nothing. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, cousin. I left you out there to dry, man. I like him too. So
I think you know what? Drop a like and a comment if you think Jay and his cousin should get B2K tattoos to commemorate.
That ain't even an option.
Come on. If we get 10 likes on this video, 10 likes.
3 likes.
3 likes.
No, I mean, I'm not like a diehard fan, but I do like quite a bit of their songs. Absolutely.
Okay,
also, this one, I don't know, it's not really so much anymore, but this one might surprise you. So, late 90s, I want to say 97, 98. I'm living in New York, right?
Okay.
Living in Brooklyn. Okay. One of the biggest groups at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
I want to know. I'm on the edge of my seat.
The Spice Girls. I was a big fan of the Spice Girls.
Oh my God, bro.
I love the Spice Girls. Scary Spice.
Just say it. Just say it.
She was beautiful to me. And it was weird, man. I think about trends that were going through my school at that time. Like, so they were one of the biggest groups in the world, literally. Mm-hmm. And a local store, well, several stores in the city, sold like these lollipops, Spice Girls lollipops that came with stickers, and everybody was putting them on their notebooks, and it's like, oh, I got this one. You know, it was a weird time.
Are you telling me you were buying these suckers?
Absolutely.
Where did you put your stickers?
On my notebook.
Dead ass.
Yes, on my notebook, on my desk. Yes, it was.
Wow, that's pretty shocking to me.
It is, right? Yeah, man. Y'all think I'm some cool, calm, suave dude?
And you're
if
not
you
at all.
think that,
You're not.
you're wrong.
You
I
are
am
lame, dude.
I am lame. You ain't have to say lame.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm eccentric a little bit. I'm a little
Yo,
bit
bro,
weird.
I'm not gonna knock you, bro, because like I've been a fan of more odd things when it comes to music. So for me,
I like a lot of '80s pop. Too.
I think that this is one that I think. So I'll just so as an example, I'm gonna throw a song out right now. I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever to be recorded on Earth, and it's relatively new. I think it's one of the most gorgeous songs ever, bro. Like if I'm having some type of day, I could like sit in the car and like start tearing up listening to it.
Oh gosh!
But it's Billie Eilish, bro. She has a song with Khalid.
That's how you say it. I don't know any of her music
so
at all, bro.
She has a song with Khalid, and it's called Lovely. If you have not heard it, bro, look it up. If you're listening and haven't heard it, look it up. If you have heard it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
I'm not familiar with her at all.
Okay.
I mean, she seems to be pretty well loved.
Okay, so here's the
I
thing
didn't see pictures of her. She kind of looks like she stank, but I'm sorry.
Jesus, man.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know that lady.
Well, stink is subjective. You can stink good, you know?
No.
Yeah, sure.
I think stink
Like,
by definition is...
Hey, this cologne stinks. These flowers stink.
I mean, is that good though? Like, I mean, they're supposed to smell good and don't.
That's true. I guess stinks is like, oof.
Yeah. No, that stinks so good.
I'm just trying to, just in case we ever blow up into the stratosphere and Billie hears this, she's not offended. I find Billie Eilish to be beautiful, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen much.
And mind you, like,
so maybe I just seen a bad picture.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because recently a picture had went out during quarantine, and she was like outside and just like wearing like sweats and a t-shirt, and people were sharing it, being like, because it was half and half. You had people sharing it, being like, "Ew, look at Billie," and then the half that are like, oh, she's so brave. Look how big she don't care about. And everybody's like, yo, like, quit calling her brave for wearing fucking like jogging pants and a tank top. Like,
for being comfortable.
Yeah, that ain't like, like just yeah. But anyway, but her and even just some of her other music. I mean, I'm not a fan of all of it, but the song "Lovely," and then outside of that. So my wife is very into like the spirituality and meditation and stuff.
Oh yeah, your wife, Felicia, the sound guy.
Yeah. My sound guy, my technical. Yeah, no, she's tech. She's all across tech.
Felicia,
she is the tech person.
The tech person.
Yeah, she is the tech guru. But my wife Felicia, she spirituality, meditation, yoga, all that stuff.
I'm actually delving into that stuff.
Yeah,
myself,
bro. And she will, because I do that stuff with her. I meditate with her, and I do yoga with her, and she'll play this stuff that like so much so, like, mind you, this isn't like even like rarely like lyrical, but it's just this kind of like trance type music, I guess. I don't know how to put it, but bro, beautiful. So much so there was one night that I like we were laying there meditating, and it was just playing off Alexa. We were like, hey Alexa, play like meditation playlist, and like in the middle of our meditation I was like yo, check, like, look at what that song is. Like, what is that song? It was gorgeous, bro. She remembers it probably, I don't, but it was beautiful. So other than that, like, it sounds strange, but like that one is one of them. But the other one, and this is kind of like let me compartmentalize this. So first off, I am a huge nerd. I love video games. I am obsessed with Pokemon. As we speak, Jay and I are sitting in the studio right now, and the shelves above us right now are just stocked with Pokemon toys.
There's a Pokemon card like 2 feet to my left.
Yeah, right here. Right here. There's a Pokemon card in my hand. Look.
Hey, whatever.
You can hear it. This is
ASMR.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I love video games, Pokemon. A big guilty pleasure of mine, if I'm not listening to hip hop in my car, if you see me vibing out, I'm listening to soundtracks. And we discussed this last podcast. We'll address last podcast here in a minute. But yeah, you'll catch me listening to soundtracks and stuff. But to add another layer to that, so I am a 32-year-old man who is a child at heart.
Same.
I will look up, like, say the original battle music from Pokemon Red and Blue. People will have remixed it. So I'll go into YouTube and I will type in like original like Pokemon, like Red and Blue battle, like Elite Four battle theme, whatever, and it'll be remixed. So it's all like, you know, like it just sounds epic. And I'll listen to it, bro. And not only will I listen to it as a 32-year-old man, I will like envision in my head how my Pokemon battle would go.
I wanna be the very
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
best.
it sounds cheesy, bro, but like legit. Like as the music's building up, I'm like, this is the part where like before like everything gets intense, I'm walking up and I see the other trainer. Okay, and then right when the music hits, I throw out my Pokeball and it's my Jolteon, and like as a 32-year-old man, I do that.
That's fun. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I do think the intro to the original Pokemon cartoon was fire,
Bro.
I
It's
still
bro,
like it.
iconic.
It's
Be
dope.
the very
Like
best.
it's sounds of my childhood, man.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know. I don't think that's like you said. It's a guilty pleasure. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah,
wrong
but
with
but
that, you know?
but okay, like is like
Is it unusual? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
Because
yeah, so
I've
yeah.
never, like, when you say soundtracks, like, I just think of, like, background music, although.
well, okay, but that is that. So my other one is right now, and Felicia often like has kind of commented on it that she thinks it's a little like strange, but the Resident Evil 2 is my favorite video game of all time, and if you go look at the OST, that stands for original soundtrack.
I honestly would not have known that. I was going to ask.
Yeah,
what
the
was-
Resident Evil 2 OST. You can go to YouTube. It'll give you literally a playlist of like basically like chronologically where the music plays throughout the game and so that.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, Resident Evil 2 is what made me realize I was a music fan because I love Resident Evil 2 for all these different reasons, and it didn't dawn on me until I was a lot older that the music is what really impacted me on some parts. Now, you could go and play. You could YouTube one right now and go Resident Evil 2 OST, play it, and I could tell you exactly where it is in the game. I'm like, this is when. Oh yeah, bro. And here's the thing. So I just obsess with the soundtrack, but I will just listen to it sometimes. Like, and mind you, this is just ambient music. It's just ambient music. It's like ominous, like piano sounds, and like some really beautiful, like composed music. And you'll catch me listening to it and just vibing.
So I'm guessing this is a guilty pleasure because. So if you had like a party at your house, would you put this stuff on?
No, I wouldn't. Now, in the setting of like, if it was like and this is odd, this is what I'd be specific, but if it was like a murder mystery or something, it'd be the perfect music to play in the background, like a murder mystery. But otherwise, like if we had people come over and we're playing beer pong and I played this music, everybody would be like what are we like? What are we doing? Like it's just like some like piano music, and I'm like,
Oh man. Yeah, this part here.
I'm like, hey DJ, throw on the RPD police station thing for me.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as guilty pleasures, I think other than the stuff we've named, I like a lot of '80s pop, man.
Yeah.
There was some dope pop in the '80s. I'm not gonna sing the one that just popped into my head, but
I want to know.
"Wake Me Up Before You Go."
Okay,
Go.
okay, yep.
Don't I like that song, bro?
Before
You go,
yeah,
leave
okay.
me hanging around like a young.
Yeah, okay,
But
okay.
that was, and I like that song. I think it's called Africa. I think that came out in Toto is the group's name.
Yeah.
I think it came out in the '80s, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a lot of good
Bro,
music from
that's
there.
another thing about that though. We again talked about this previously, but older music, man, there was just something different. It's like back in the day, you had to try harder and be more, because nowadays everything is so user friendly, almost to a bad degree.
Yeah.
Where it's like when you build an instrumental, it's almost like it's gonna like, unless you're really in there with like a drum machine or even like is the musicians who make like because as a rapper, it's easy enough. I'm a vocalist.
Yeah.
It's easy enough. But like back in the day, and still you have bands that do this and stuff. But like these dudes were composing every inch of that album. You know, everything was like I think the cowbell skit on Saturday Night Live. Like
I'm not familiar with
you've
that.
never seen the cowbell skit?
No, I
Okay,
haven't seen
we're gonna have to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
won't
what
stay on
you're
song,
saying,
but
though-
it's hilarious. Yeah.
What you're saying though is kind of reminds me of something Jadakiss, a legendary MC, said.
Yes, yeah.
He said he's from an era where the artists are like their music is prepared. It's an analogy, essentially like food. It's seasoned, it's prepped, it's
Yes, yeah,
marinated,
yeah.
it's
It's not
cooked in
micro. You don't throw it in
cooked
the
in the
microwave.
oven. Yeah, and nowadays it's more of a microwave thing. So,
Yeah, you just
so I get what you mean.
Bro,
when you say
Jada
that.
said that.
Yes,
Bro,
Jada
talk
Kiss.
about it. Talk about a profound, brilliant like MC, bro.
Absolutely.
Artist like that dude, man. Like yeah.
One of the greats, man. Absolutely.
So yeah, so I think that, but that goes to, I mean, even the few things I touched on, like, is a hip hop fan, yeah, like, oh, that's a constant. It's a fact. It's a constant. It's just it is what it is. But musically, bro, so much of everything. Like I go. This was like something in a million years I wouldn't even have thought of. But my wife loves to dance, and my wife came up like in a pretty country like type setting. You know, and mind you, we grew up in Wyoming, so that's just kind of innately there.
Yeah.
But one day she talked me into going to a local Western bar and learning how to country two-step. And bro, at first, bro, like cheesy as hell to me, and this is gonna sound even cheesier, but we did our first lesson, and the second we got on the dance floor and I started learning, my wife just lit up, bro, just smiled. And it was enough that I was like, I'll stick with this. And flash forward, bro, mind you, I stuck to this for a couple years. And flash forward, we had the coach there, the teacher there, had us teaching the new people. My wife and I, bro. Mind you, like 6'5", no rhythm having, like can't dance, like Sycamore Treesy, Nick Fletcher.
Goofy looking, smells bad.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I thought that's what we were doing.
No, it's
You
not.
know I love
It's
you. I
not
got
good.
love for you, man. Chill.
That's you know we're gonna do that one day. We're gonna have a roast day.
Don't
a
do
podcast
that.
just dedicated. No,
I'm
that's
not-
actually a bad idea.
I don't
Let's
want
not
to do that. That will probably be our last episode.
Yeah, that'll be the season finale.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm sick of you, bro. Anyway, no, but yeah, country two-step, and mind you, before that, country was something I didn't mind, but I wasn't a fan. But now, because of that, I have some actual like feelings connected to it. Like, you know, like songs her and I would dance to, and I'm like, yo, this is the one I like dancing to this one.
Yeah,
and
what's
now,
that one?
when it comes on the radio now, I have like, I enjoy the song, but I also have like an emotional connection to it. You know, like there's one called Tennessee Whiskey, and bro, like it's probably my favorite country song. Like you're
really?
Yeah, it's beautiful, bro.
I've
Yeah,
seen
so-
people reference it. I've never heard it.
yeah, so that guilty pleasures of music, that's ours. The final thing, so we're just to establish these are hour-long podcasts. So when you tune in, expect an hour's worth of content.
Yes.
That's very difficult for Jay and I, mind you.
Yeah.
We have a very hard time.
Yeah,
keeping
we talk too much.
But to finish it, the closing statement, I felt like this is the perfect thing to close with. What would you tell your younger self?
Okay, so essentially we're gonna limit this to one statement, right?
I mean, sort of. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just feel like
I don't know if I can condense mine.
The scenario is just
I
give
could,
yourself just one simple statement that you think would have, maybe changed the course of things in some way. I would say to myself, prepare for the future, but don't lose sight of the present. And I think the way I was, my 20s, man, I was trash. Looking back, I always think of my younger self as dumb. I don't know if that's a sign of growth or if I'm just.
I think everybody. I think you hit your like the age we're at. Like that.
Yeah, like you just think, I was so dumb in 2013.
I think you're still dumb, bro.
No, thanks. Yeah, you shouldn't say that.
Shouldn't have said I stink, bro.
I'm
Sorry.
sensitive.
No, but I feel like I wasn't really I always worked hard and took care of my son, make sure that my responsibilities were taken care of.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it was like, wasn't nothing about buying a house, saving, credit. I wasn't thinking about none of that stuff. I would just make sure my son was taken care of. I would work as much as I could handle, and then it's just like I would just party and do whatever else.
Just kind of like that instant gratification type stuff.
Exactly, not really thinking about the future, and I really regret that, because I could have did things so much better. But you live and you learn, It's exactly what life is. I feel like some life lessons are reoccurring too. Like life has a way of humbling you at times. Even if you humble, it'll be like, not humble enough. Like prime example, like last year I was laid off for 3 months from June to September.
Yeah.
Wasn't planned, wasn't expecting it, wasn't prepared for it. I mean, I was able to sustain things until, I started receiving unemployment and all that terrible stuff. But it's just
And it puts a lot into perspective, bro.
absolutely,
It makes
man.
you realize, it reminds me of a quote. God, see, I'm not even trying to attempt the quote, but I'm just going to tell you what the quote essentially boiled down to. But I was watching this thing about health food and health in general, and about how in America we have like horrific like rates of like heart disease and heart failure and obesity, and it was basically like, take care of yourself before you're sick.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Like, because that's a common thing. People get ill and then they work on the problem. Like, no, start today.
Yeah.
Like, start today.
That's amazing, man. I like that.
So mine is, I'm going to try to like think of how I can say this like eloquently. Mine would be, if I could tell my younger self, I would tell me to be yourself, and without sounding cheesy, but like be the you that you are happy and most importantly comfortable with.
Yes.
And here's why. I was definitely dumb when I was a kid, bro.
Dumb.
There is no like if, ands, or buts or debate about it. So as a kid, very similar. When I looked down the pipeline, a lot of my goals and my expectations were not realistic or feasible. I was like, bro, I'm talking like when I was like early 20s, I was convinced I would like blow up as a rapper. Like literally, I was like working, bro, real talk. I was working drive-through at the Taco Bell and like comfortable because I was like, oh, like
this
like
is just temporary.
Yeah, something's
like,
going to take off, like my
eventually.
music's going to take off. Now, the comfortable and the BU part of all this is I have been subject to peer pressure and just impacted by things out of like popularity opposed to like what I wanted to be. Like a good example is my tattoos. I am covered in tattoos. And mind you, I do love my tattoos, but I got so much of them when I was younger that me now would have not gotten them. Not saying I wouldn't have got tattooed, but maybe not
what
the
I got.
Specific
ones you have.
And like, so for me, my tattoos, it was more of like, instead of being me, I was being what I thought I was supposed to be.
Oh gosh.
I was trying to be like the image of a rapper. Like, oh, I'm covered in tattoos. When I walk into a room, I want people to notice me. Like, it wasn't for me, it was for them, it was for like everybody else.
I get that, man.
And that also falls in line with like anything, like just being in an environment and like even musically, like being around a certain crowd and making this maybe a song that like I look back on now and I'm like, bro, I was like, that's not me. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was trying to fit in, like, instead of being true to myself. So that would be my thing is be true to me and be happy and be comfortable. Like,
yeah, I feel that, man. I think that's terrible to, try to fit in or try to be who you think people like.
yeah.
It's me personally, a person who is genuinely unapologetically themselves is one of the most beautiful things in the world.
Yeah, and that was not me.
And I feel like that's who I am now. Like, I'm very secure. Obviously life ain't 100% what I want it to be, but I'm very secure in who I am these days. And it took a long time to do that, man. Because you tend to be self-conscious and worry about what others think, and you just got to go for what you want to do.
And here's what I'll throw in with that whole, like, this whole subject. So mostly where I wasn't me and I was somebody else and doing something different has been in, like, I would say, like, a social setting in the context of, like, you put me at a party or something like that, but also mainly as a musician, like that figure, But the places where you found me, where Nick was being Nick, just me being me, was in the line of work that I am now.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, I
feel like I always got a pretty genuine, ridiculous side of you.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. My close friends, like you, bro, for example, like my crew, the people I grew up with, yeah, they got me. They got me. And I feel like if I wasn't being me, I would get called out. Like, you guys, like, what are you doing? Like what are you, But just around, like, I think trying to impress people that didn't necessarily, like, why impress this person? Like, why are you trying to appease these people,
Yeah.
And I don't mean that ignorantly either. Nothing against those people, but it's like, why? Like, what's the end game here?
Yeah.
But for me, the place that I was always myself was you put me at work, like what I do now. I've been in this line of work for 10 years. So outside of music, outside of podcasting, I own a company called Guardians Watch, where I work with individuals with special needs.
Yes.
I've been doing this for 10 years, and that's where me shine through. The bubbly, charismatic, make you laugh, like, you know, just do all these things, be silly, make like weird noises out of nowhere, just like, you know, just be kind, see somebody in need and help them like that. That's where me shine through. And the cool thing about being you, so we'll put it like this, guys. I am still an active musician. I have an album in the works as we speak.
Yeah, he actually showed me a fire track today.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. So I have an album in the works.
And I'm not just saying that because you're my friend, bro. Like, I absolutely feel like you're a very talented lyricist. You're dope.
And your opinion means a lot to me because you are the
greatest man who ever lived.
Yeah, you're like a god among men.
Yes,
you know, like
absolutely.
It's just a chiseled Greek god,
an ebony god.
So
I'm just playing, y'all. Chill.
So back to my sentimental part of this is all the play. So as a musician, I fluctuated wildly to like what I sound like, what I wanted to sound like, who I wanted to be, like how I wanted people to view me, how I didn't want them to view me, what crowd I wanted to please, what crowd I didn't want to please, all these different things. And as a musician, I have some notoriety in like my how am I saying that?
Notoriety.
Notoriety in my state.
I fumble words too, bro. Don't trip.
So, but like in my state, like I'm pretty well known locally, very well known as a musician.
Yeah,
but
actually, one of my coworkers is because you know how the other day you were helping your dad move stuff into his place. Yeah. He lives over there, and he was like, "Hey, so does Sycamore Treasy live in such and such apartments?" I'm like, "Oh no, bro, he's just moving some stuff for his dad." Blah, blah, blah. It's funny how people just know you as you.
And that's true, bro. That's like another thing locally. I feel like I might be known better for or just known as Sycamore Treasy, pretty prominently. But so as a musician though, the place that I struggled with my identity so much has been it has never really transcended beyond Wyoming and like that. I mean, to a small degree, but in the line of work that I'm in now, where I got to be myself, I own a business. I have I feed my family off that. I have a nice home and stuff like that. And that's where I was just being me. It was so before I started this line of work, man, it was, I was working all sorts of crazy jobs. I was washing dishes. I was in the drive-thru at Taco Bell. I was just all these I was trying to be a shop hand in the oil field, which I just hated, you know?
Yeah.
And then I found this line of work where I got to be me. And 10 years later, so being you pays off, y'all. Absolutely. And if anything, it pays off for your spirit, in your soul. So we have broken into the hour of our podcast. We just exceeded by 20 seconds. So let's go ahead and hit people with closing statements.
Closing statements.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I think peanut butter's overrated.
No, that's not. Come on, man. First off, it's not overrated, and that's not a very good closing statement.
Well, it's not that great. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. Peanut butter's wonderful. Anyway, so my closing statement is, I want to end on something positive every podcast. Yes. So we live in a very tumultuous world. Things are crazy, especially
times
now,
of
man.
Uncertainty.
It's crazy. It's wild. People are at each other's throats.
And with that, I think us doing this podcast will also be kind of therapeutic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I want to say to anybody out there, if you, like myself, are struggle with anxiety, depression, intrusive thoughts, just all these different things, hang in there, be strong, because I assure you, mental health awareness is on the rise, and you are not alone. You might feel like you're alone, but you're not. And as long as people like me exist, there will always be somebody in your corner. So be strong, reach out. I mean, even me personally, if you hit me up in my inbox and I see it, chances are I'm gonna respond and be personal. It won't be some kind of baseline little whatever you can do it response, no, real talk. So that's what I want to end on. We got this, man. Not just we got this.
Absolutely.
Is a society, is humanity, we got this.
Yeah. I honestly, man, I don't even want to add nothing in because I feel like that was really profound and that was dope of you to say.
Cool.
I just want to send positive vibes to everybody during this time of uncertainty. You know, there's no telling what the future is going to hold, but let's just keep our heads up and remain positive and, you know, keep it moving.
Amen to that. So let's conclude. So Jay did the intro, so I am going to take it upon myself to do the outro. I am Nicholas Fletcher.
I'm Jaquan Davis.
This is the Old Heads Podcast.
Young old heads.
Oh, the Young Old Heads Podcast. I just screwed up our outro.
We're old too. Though,
Okay,
so
yeah.
whatever,
This is the Old Heads and Young Old Head Podcast. Yo, rewind. I'm gonna start that over.
Okay.
Hey, so I am Nicholas Fletcher.
I'm Jaquan Davis.
This is the Young Old Heads Podcast. We are a hip-hop centric podcast where we talk a little bit about everything and a whole lot of nothing. So
Yes, absolutely.
So I hope you enjoyed. Tune in. This is episode 2, technically. We have episode
1B. 1B.
Yeah, this is 1B. This is episode 1B. Yo, if we drop this episode first, comment if you want to hear episode 1, because episode 1 was like us dipping our toe in the water.
Absolutely.
And I feel like episode 1 had some pretty strong points, but we had no body for what we did. We
Yeah,
just started talking, and so this one had a lot more structure. So
Absolutely.
drop a like or a comment if you want to hear episode 1A. But this is episode 1B.
1B.
Have a good night, y'all.
Peace.